It's time for Justice for the People with Pastor Charles Bennett. Justice for the People, exploring issues involving corruption and injustices in the Tri-Cities. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and Pastor Bennett, and not necessarily those of the moderator, management, staff, or advertisers of WHAP. Here now is Pastor Charles Bennett and Justice for the People.
Everyone bails out of their local city. And just think of it this way. When you look over there and you see Crossroads Ford, let me tell you something, folks. We don't have a Ford dealership in Hopewell anymore. They don't have one in Petersburg anymore as far as where it used to be. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if I was going to buy a Ford. I'm sure they're good cars, but I don't know who I would shop with.
Yeah. Well,
how would I compare prices? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong.
Well,
with
not only that, but we collapse our local communities for the sake of being forced into this big conglomerate mentality.
And that means higher prices. If you got 3 stores, I can promise you, you'd buy the automobile cheaper than if you go to one.
I've heard a rumor about this, and I think it may be valid. I'm not sure you can address this, but we are under the impression from the rumors that I've been hearing that most of these General Motors dealerships that are being closed and Chrysler dealerships, they are people that have been known to support the Republican Party. It's like payback time. Now, I'm not expecting you to address that, but I will tell you this, folks listening to me today, that not all that glitters is gold. And everything that our president tells you is not always from the motivation of truth.
Charles, the only thing I can speak to on that, I understand that Steve Ratner is in charge of this automotive task force, him and Edward Montgomery. First of all, we don't have any political affiliation. Sometimes we may vote for Democrats, sometimes we may vote for conservatives, or speaking for myself, sometimes I might vote Democratic. I vote for who I think can do the best and is most sincere to help the people like we're talking about now. But I do understand what you're talking about. Steve Ratner understands why works on the Democratic committee that raises money for the Democratic campaign. I believe it's Steve Ratner. I'd have to check. It's either him or Ed Montgomery, but I think it's Steve Ratner. But I really don't think they did it that way. They may have looked at that list. I don't know. I don't think so. I think what has happened, I think that management of General Motors has buffaloed everybody. The dealers they want to keep, I think they've buffaloed the ones they want to get rid of, and I think they've buffaloed their task force in the Obama administration personally.
It bothers me that the CEO of General Motors was spoken to one time, it seems like. You only heard about it one time, and he bails out. It's like he bailed out too quickly. It's like he almost set it up to bail out.
$20 million would help you jump out of the plane
well,
with a parachute.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'd be willing to quit too. I'll quit doing this talk show. Somebody just paid me $1 million, I'll go off the air. But the point is that this whole situation seems and smells of a scam. But regardless of what happened to General Motors, regardless what happens to General Motors, we have a window of opportunity, folks, to go price the cars wherever you want, but don't buy until you go check with the mom and pop store. I heard they took some dealership out of Waverly. The guy didn't sell maybe 5 cars a year.
But that was 5 cars. He's a friend of mine. It's Waverly Motors. It don't matter. Every car counts. Every car counts.
And every person is worthy of making a little living.
And I'm from Waverly, and I'm going to say Proctor Peoples runs a great outfit down there. For them to get rid of that boy like that after all them years, they've been there, I think, 60 or 70 years. That was wrong. If he didn't sell but 1 car, and he sold more than that, I don't know, I guess he sold 15 or 20, 30 a year. I don't know. But if he didn't sell but 1, to terminate him is wrong. If he wanted to give it up, that's fine. But to go in and just take your business away from him is wrong.
That's right. It's right. It's absolutely wrong. It's wrong to take people's livings away from them. It's wrong. In the early days, if you stole a man's horse, you could be hung by the neck. You know what our local government's doing? Every time you do anything wrong, they take your driver's license. They're taking my horse from me. They ought to be hung by the neck till they die. It's not right. Folks, we've had an incredible broadcast today. There's an Automobile Dealer Economic Rights Restoration Act. It's called H.R. 2743. You need to write Randy Forbes. You need to write your congressman. You need to write every person you can. Because there's an H.R. 2743, Automobile Dealer Economic Rights Restoration Act. There's going to be a push. You're going to hear about it in the days to come. It may not be successful, but these little dealers, these local dealers, the mom and pop store that represent your cities, they're pushing back. They're going to push back. They've got to push back. They've been silent long enough. It's not right. It's not fair. It's immoral. It's criminal what they've done. It is, as far as I'm concerned, illegal. They have broken laws to do what they've done. Our time is out for today. I'll give Mr. Francis 4 seconds. Go ahead.
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate the invitation to come over here. It's been a very informative meeting, and I hope we got the word out there so the Attorney Generals can come forward in Virginia and support the other 36 in this country if they haven't already done so to get this bill enacted. But one thing I like to say positive about General Motors, they do make a great car. Their engineering is world class, and if you look at the fit and finish and interiors and all on the car, you can't find a better engineered car. They just got management problems, and I hope they get those addressed soon. God bless you. Don't miss Newman tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks.
That was good, man. You did a good job.
Justice for the